Welcome back to the Barrels on Monday morning, 12th of April. We are starting another week and we have a great little card, both NBA and MLB, in my opinion. We will break down all games as usual. And yeah, I will tell you what my leans are. You know the drill by now. If you have any comment or feedback, you can reach out to me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone. If you want to tell my plays, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and join the Discord channel. So let's get into it. We are starting with NBA as always. LA Lakers at the New York Knicks. Lakers 3-point dogs by the looks of it. That's the early line. I'm skipping this one. LeBron and AD are both out for LA. Additionally, Kuzma and Gasol are questionable. Yeah, we've seen the Lakers get the W the last time out. I think the backups played way better for LA than we've seen so far. And I don't think this is a terrible lineup. Obviously, they are missing LeBron and AD big time, but I mean, I think the starting five with Drummond in, and it could be interesting. Knicks third game in 4 nights back to back. They are playing a home back to back, but Randall played 38 minutes last night, so pretty heavy load. So yeah, I don't know how far the Lakers will fall with AD and LeBron out. Although AD could come back earlier than we expected, based on some news that came out last week. So we will see about that. But I don't think this is a terrible team right now. I kind of agree with the line. I'm showing a slight value on LA at 3, but not going to touch this. Philly at Dallas. Sixers laying 2.5 points on the road. It's basically a 3. 2.5 is juiced minus 115 on Bet365. I agree with it, although I really like the matchup for Philly. There have been some minus 2s, minus 1.5s even out on the market earlier this morning. I really liked Philly there. I think if you can grab a cheap money line, they are the side. Dallas playing a back-to-back here. They played the Spurs last night. They lost. It kind of shows that they are still dropping the ball. Sometimes I still cannot trust them. Luka played 35. Porzingis 36 minutes. So as I said, it's a home back-to-back for them. Philly playing their third game in 4 nights, no injuries. I think the matchup is really good for Philly, especially with Kleber not being 100%. He just came back from injury. He may even sit this one out, but even if he's in, he is not healthy. And I mean, Dallas doesn't have anyone to stop or even slow down Embiid. Philly 8th in offensive rebounding percentage and 1st in free throw rate. Dallas defense 15th in defensive rebounding and 11th in free throw rate. I think these are the two key stats for Philly all the time, and I think they are looking really good here. Philly is also a borderline top 10 defense against the three-pointer, which is the only thing basically the Mavs are doing. They are putting up the 5th most threes in the league, but only 16th in field goal percentage from downtown. So yeah, overall, I really like Philly. I think the defensive improvements have been super legit. In the last 2 weeks, they allowed only 104 points per 100 possessions. We've also seen this matchup earlier, like 3 weeks ago. Philly won that one rather easily. I think they will get the W again. San Antonio Spurs at the Orlando Magic. Yeah, this is a bad game. Both teams are 3-7 in the last 10. Also, they are playing a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. Spurs also traveled. The Magic lost 5 straight, but as I said, both teams only won 3 out of the last 10 games. I don't trust either side here. Both teams have top 10 defensive rebounding. Both teams are good at not giving up extra free throws. I think this should be slower pace, lower scoring game. Magic got, I think, the upper hand from a rest perspective. No one played more than 27 minutes last night for them, while the Spurs played higher minutes. I think the 6 is a bit too much, to be honest. I think this should be maybe 5-ish. 6.5 was the opener at some shops. I think this will come down to 5. we can even see some guys sitting for the Spurs on the tail ends of back-to-backs. We've seen that before. No injury report yet, of course. So yeah, leaning towards the Magic. I think this would be like the perfect Spurs game. They beat the Mavs straight up, and then they lose Orlando the next day. That's how they usually roll. No dice from me. Brooklyn Nets at the Minnesota Timberwolves. 8.5, 9.5 across the board. You can grab 9.5 if you want with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I think you should. It's not an easy bet to make, but I make this 9 with only Harden out, and Kyrie will also sit, and Aldridge is also out. Additionally, KD had 2 games back. He played in 19 and 24 minutes. I don't think he will be stretched out to more than like 25, 28 here. I would be kind of surprised. And I think for Brooklyn to cover this, they should need him to play like 30 plus minutes, to be honest. Like 10 points is a lot. Minnesota coming off a win over the Bulls last night. Karl Anthony Towns played 37 minutes. His minutes might be lower today. If you want to go for if you wait for the injury report, that's not a bad move. They might sit him, although they haven't been doing that so far this season. I think they want to play the core a bit together for a few games before they start tanking, and even if they lose this, I think they can easily cover. I mean, basically, Brooklyn doesn't have anyone, just Griffin, who is not going to stop Karl Anthony Towns, and KD limited to like 25-ish minutes. It's not doesn't warrant a 9 spread for me. Washington Wizards at the Utah Jazz. 12.5 is a spread. My spread is 14 here. I think this matchup is really good for the Jazz. Basically, the Wizards are very good at drawing free throws. They are drawing the third most in the league, but the Jazz are giving up the second least defensively. Wizards also second most mid-range jumpers attempted. They are 7th in field goal percentage, which is pretty decent. But the Jazz are allowing the third lowest field goal percentage in the league. So yeah, overall I think this is a great matchup. And yeah, you know the drill by now with Jazz rebounding edge, huge rebounding edge. Offensively, they will kind of roll here. They also own the better free throw rate. Wizards playing third game in 4 nights. I think, yeah, this 12.5, this will turn into 13.5 in my opinion, pretty easily once the sharper books open up. Obviously not running to the window, laying double digits. Beal is tagged as probable for the Wizards. That's something you might want to follow. I think he will play, but they will soon start to sit him out in these spots. So, yeah. Bulls at Memphis. Memphis laying 2.5 points at home. This is an extremely chaotic matchup. Both of these teams are super inconsistent. I think these are the two playoff contender teams, in my opinion, who are the most inconsistent in the league, probably. And both playing a back-to-back 3rd in 4th and 5th in 7 or so. Memphis, everyone played 35 minutes or less. For the Bulls, Lavin played 36, the others 27 or less. I think Memphis, they enjoyed a bit of an easy part of their schedule. In the last 2 weeks, they have a plus 10 point differential, went 5-3. They're grading as the second best offense in the league, but they faced some pretty easy schedule, and they have a rough part of their schedule coming up. I just read it this morning that the next 11 games of the Grizzlies will be against a playoff or play-in team. We might see them fall down in the rankings a bit, but these are two teams that I don't really trust. My line here is Memphis minus 3.5. So yeah, 2.5. It seems like a good deal on the Grizzlies, but personally, I'm leaning towards the Bulls. They have a higher ceiling. they are more healthy. And I think their defensive rebounding is just rock solid, and they will be able to control the boards against Memphis. But both of these teams are putting up tons of mid-range jumpers, and both of these teams defensively suck against them. Memphis is allowing a 44% field goal percentage average against mid-range shots. The Bulls are allowing a 46%. So yeah, we have two teams in bad Trevor spots who are terribly inconsistent, both with strong reboundings but bad defensive matchups. I'm just skipping this one. Really no edge here either way. As I said, my numbers are leaning Memphis, but I'm personally leaning towards the Bulls. Sacramento Kings at the New Orleans Pelicans. 3.5 is a spread. I make this 2.5, but I'm liking the Pelicans. Again, a similar situation to the previous game. My numbers are saying one thing, but personally, I'm liking the Pelicans here. They are first in offensive rebounding in the league and fourth in free throw rate. And the Kings defense grades 26th and 24th in these stats. Both of these offenses are top 10, and both of these defenses are terrible. But I think the rebounding and free throw rate favors the Pelicans a lot. They also get to the rim at the highest rate in the entire league, and they are while they are only league average in efficiency, the Kings are the second worst defense in the league in field goal percentage allowed, behind the Nuggets. So yeah, I think the matchup plays amazingly for the Pelicans. And they are also a good defense against mid-range shots. They aren't a good defense in the paint or against threes, but against the Kings, you really need nothing more than being okay against mid-range shots, and they allow the fourth lowest field goal percentage in the league against those. So yeah, I think the Pelicans win and cover, but they are a bit overpriced, although looking at the matchup, I completely understand why. Denver Nuggets at the Golden State Warriors. Interesting game. I might have a play on this one later on. 3.5 is a spread. That's what my line is with the current injuries. So Golden State won't have Kelly Oubre, and Wiseman is also out. Obviously, two of their best, like, 5 players. Both really important, and especially in this matchup, in my opinion, both will be missed. Nuggets with Murray questionable, so yeah, with him out, I make this 3.5. But I'm leaning towards him playing. I kind of expected him to play yesterday, to be honest. If he is in, and you can still get a 3.5, I think the Nuggets are a nice look. But the spot isn't really great for them. Fifth game in 7 nights, third in 4, back-to-back with travel. They lost to Boston last night in an ugly showing. They only put up 87 points. And I have to tell you that everything has been working out well for the Nuggets so far since the trade deadline. They are rolling. They are playing like a true title contender. Improvements on both sides of the ball. I think I have been waiting for this bad effort that we've seen last night. I think they kind of needed this reset. We will see if we get a good effort today, but I'm expecting that we will. They have a huge rebounding edge. Overall, the matchup is really good. If Murray is in and this stays 3.5, even at 4, if it's 4 and Murray is in and you can catch that, I would be on the Nuggets, wait for the injury report, and go from there. Houston Rockets at the Phoenix Suns. 13 is a spread. My spread is exactly 13. No dice here. Suns have been rolling, but I did mention earlier that they have a very difficult schedule to end the season. And from the 20th of this month, they have a 10-day schedule where they play Milwaukee, Philly, Boston, Brooklyn, Knicks, Clippers, Jazz. I think that they will fall down in the rankings, but obviously that's looking forward. This isn't really a matchup where you should have any concern. They will get the W here for sure. All right, so let's look at the slate, sum it up. I'm liking Philly. I think -3 is fair. If you can grab anything lower, like a flat -2.5, cheap money line, I think the matchup is amazing for the Sixers here. Mavs also playing a back-to-back, so that will also have help our case. Minnesota Timberwolves, I think 9.5 is off. If you can grab 9.5, I would be definitely on them. Nets will have KD on minute restrictions, and Harden and Kyrie and Aldridge are missing the game. So I don't think the Timberwolves are playing super bad right now. They will play bad. They will start tanking, but I think they are in a stage when they are looking at the lineup. They had tons of injuries through the season. They are now testing out the lineup, seeing what they can do, and they play close to 500 basketball in the last few weeks. So it's not a terrible team at this moment. And yeah, Nuggets. Follow the injury report. If you still can get 3.5 and 4 with Murray in, I think that's a good bet with Golden State missing Oubre and Wiseman as well. All right, we are switching to MLB, and we are rolling on. Big slate, a couple of great games. There will be a few interesting ones. I will talk more about those, but we will skip a few that are not that interesting. Boston at Minnesota, Perez at J.A. Happ. Happ is a minus 145 home favorite. I show a small edge on Minnesota here. I make this minus 150. I haven't played this one yet. I think if we get like a minus 140, that would be a bet for me. Happ started the season against the Tigers, and he was pretty bad. He only went 4 innings, walked 3, needed 90 pitches to pitch 4 innings. Kind of expected more. But I think he is better than what we've seen in the first start. Many pitchers had weak first starts, especially this season. I'm ready to move on with that and back him. Boston is traveling in from Baltimore. Twins stayed at home, so there is a slight edge. Obviously, they didn't have to travel. Early money is coming in on Boston, but I don't really buy them. They are rolling right now. They grade as a top 10 offense so far this season, according to most metrics, but I think that's not something that's sustainable. And their bullpen is first in FIP among all bullpens in the league. I expected improvements, but I think, again, that's not something that they will be able to keep up. So, yeah, I really want to fade them. Perez isn't a guy to fade, to be honest. He looked okay in his first start. His fastball velocity was nice. Last season, his average exit velocity was 85 miles per hour, 30% hard hit rate. He's a difficult guy to really hurt, and the Twins aren't hot yet, so yeah, it's a difficult game to break down. Donaldson is on the IL with a hamstring injury. He had a simulated game a few days ago, and he could come back here. I will wait for the lineups. This is the early game, by the way. If Donaldson is in and we get the minus 140, I will likely bet Minnesota here. San Diego at Pittsburgh, Darvish at Cahill, minus 231. San Diego, big road favorite. I make this closer to minus 200. So, yeah, obviously you will you will have to pay a little extra to back the Padres. Darvish had a bad first start, but in his second start, he came out against the Giants, only gave up 1 earned in 6 innings with 7 Ks. Everything looked okay. He was throwing slightly bit. The velocity was slightly down from last year, but nothing concerning. And the secondary pitches looked real good. Trevor Cahill, last season he had a 13% walk rate, 5+ FIP against righties. He was only averaging 2.3 innings pitched from relief. They are trying to stretch him out as a starter. Went 4 innings in his first start. Gave up 7 earned runs against Cincinnati. Another guy you want to back. So, yeah, just skip this game. Seattle at Baltimore. Sheffield at Creamer. 50-50 game. The outcomes, it's a really wide range of outcomes here, to be honest. I'm not trusting either guy. I rate them really close to each other, but I don't know if either guy will turn into a real pitcher or not. Um, Sheffield, last season he had an 8% swinging strike rate, almost a 9% walk rate. He survived with a really good home run to fly ball ratio, but the exit velocities were ugly. In the first start against the White Sox, he kind of got blown up. I'm not liking his profile. And Creamer on the other side, he pitched against the Yankees and he also got blown up. Obviously, this is a huge step down for him. I would kind of lean towards Baltimore, to be honest. I think their bullpen is still better. And maybe Creamer has a bit better upside than Sheffield here, but no dice from me. Yankees at the Jays, Garrett Cole, Robbie Ray. I expected Ryu to start, but he will start tomorrow's game. So Ray's no for me. Last season he had a 5.5 Sierra, 18% walk rate, 51% fly ball rate, 41% hard hit rate. 7 plus FIP against righties, 91 mile exit velo. You know the drill. He pitched 50 innings, so it's not like a super low sample size. He was bad. He had a great spring training this season. Struck out 18 with only five walks in 13 innings, but then fell down the stairs and bruised his throwing elbow and missed 2 turns. So this will be his first start. I'm not playing anyone against the Yankees. First start, back from injury, off a bad season. Cole on the other end, this is a top 3 guy. We will see where this line shapes up. It's an interesting one. Basically, you have to price in the question marks around Ray. I would expect something like minus 170, 80, something like that. Probably around, won't hit like minus 200, but we will see. No bet from me. Philly at the New York Mets, Chase Anderson and David Peterson. This is another game where I don't have any stock here. Obviously, I think the Mets are a bit better team. Peterson, personally, I'm liking him a bit. Last season, he had a walk issue. 12% walk rate, but he had an 11% swinging strike rate, good contact metrics, only 31% hard contact, 87 miles per hour average exit velocity. He pitched against Philly in the first start, gave up 6 earned in 4 innings with 5 Ks. Basically he blew up. That happens, but he's pitching against Philly in his second game. I cannot really back him in that spot. Chase Anderson, as I said before his last start, the last time he pitched well was in 2017. He got super lucky with a .077 batting average on balls in play against him in his last start. I don't really know what either of these guys will turn out to be, but I think Peterson has the higher ceiling. The Mets are the better team, and my line is minus 138, and that's exactly what the pinnacle line is. So no action. Next game is an interesting one. I have action here. Texas at Tampa Bay, Dunning at Glasnow. This game has a 7 total, and one team is a plus 200 dog. That's close to an auto bet for me, to be honest. And in this case, where I'm a huge fan of Tyler Glasnow, and he did look amazing so far. I think Dunning is maybe on his better days can match his output. Glasnow, he has a 1.19 FIP. And he pitched 12 innings so far against Boston and Miami, and now he gets Texas. Talk about an easy schedule to start the season. He's up to 100 pitches now. Some secondaries didn't look that good, but overall, I think he will be fine. He's still a top arm, and the Texas team is a bad offense flat out. Dane Dunning, I think he's a more interesting guy on the other end. He went 5 innings against Toronto with 6 Ks, 34% core strikes plus whiffs. He only went 70 pitches. I think he might not hit 6 innings here, but maybe he will do. I think he's a nice arm. I kind of liked his first outing last season. He only allowed a 20% hard contact rate, 17% infield fly ball rate, 86 miles per hour average exit velocity, nice launch angles. I really like the guy. I think, yeah, Texas sucks. Their bullpen isn't as good as Tampa Bay's. Their offense isn't as good as Tampa Bay's, but I think Dunning can likely match Glasnow's production here. Not likely, but I think it's more likely than the odds would indicate. Miami at Atlanta, Sandy Alcantara, Huskar Inoa. Alcantara, I'm super impressed. Him and Pablo Lopez, I mean, Miami is really worth watching. If you don't watch their games, you really should. These guys are amazing. Alcantara went 6 innings against the Cardinals with 10 Ks, only 2 earned runs allowed, 34% call strikes plus whiffs. He's up to 90 plus pitches. I think while this is a super difficult matchup, Braves are one of the better offenses against righties, although they have been struggling a bit early on. I think Alcantara could possibly pitch a nice game here. Obviously, the park isn't nice. This is a bad park shift for him. 10 mile per hour wind blowing out, so I'm staying off this game. But I kind of like Alcantara. Inoa, on the other end, yeah, he had a great first outing, 5 innings with 5 Ks, only 2 hits allowed, no earned runs in 68 pitches against the Nationals. We know that the Nationals are banged up still with the COVID thing. They aren't, and they aren't a super difficult team to pitch against. When they are fully healthy. So yeah, I'm not really taking too much away from that. Yeah, he did look good. But I mean, this guy last year, 5+ Sierra, 1.66 whip, 13% walk rate, almost a 40% hard hit rate. And he averaged just 2.4 innings as he was a relief guy. He went 5 innings in this start. We will see how this plays out, but this would be a super buy high if you would back him here. Basically, he did look good in his lone first start. But yeah, I mean, this matchup is easy, but I'm not laying like minus 150 with guys like this. Cubs at Milwaukee, Alzolay at Peralta. This is a rematch. Same matchup was played, I think, on the 4th. Yeah, I'm really liking both guys here. Both are really wide arms, missing bats, tons of strikeouts, but they both walk tons of batters. So yeah, wide range of outcomes really. In the first game, the Cubs closed as a minus 111 favorites, and they were like plus 120 this morning, which I thought was bad. I don't adjust that much for losing home field advantage, especially this season. Also, I'm liking the Cubs here. I think Peralta is the better pitcher. He has probably the better overall floor. I think he has the better fastball, better control. But Azalea is still a young guy. He's improving. I like the upside. And the Cubs, they have a 199 batting average on balls in play. One of the, I think, the unluckiest teams so far this season. I'm expecting better things from them. I think this current lineup isn't as bad as we've seen so far. So I'm kind of buying some Cubs stock here. Also, the most important note, I almost forgot to mention it. Christian Yelich and Shaw are both questionable for this game. I think that's huge. Yelich had to leave last night's game with a lower back tightness. We know that back injuries are very tricky. I'm not expecting him to play here. Back isn't really a thing that just gets fixed from one day to the next one. You need to rest that. If either of those guys misses the game, I think the plus 115 is great with the Cubs. If both miss it, it's amazing. Milwaukee's bullpen is so far bottom five in all metrics I'm tracking. Cubs bullpen on the other end, 2.2 ERA, advanced metrics around 3.5 feedback strip. As I said, I'm expecting positive regression from the Cubs offense. Milwaukee's offense just with a 64 WRC plus so far. Um, I think it's a good buy low with the Cubs with Alzolay. He isn't as good as Peralta, but I don't think there is too much difference between these two guys. Cubs offense could come alive any day now if Shaw or Yelich has to miss this game. I mean, that's huge. Brewers are an extremely top-heavy team. If basically they don't really have any good bets besides these two and Hiura, so yeah, I like the Cubs at plus money. Washington at St. Louis, Eric Fedde at John Gant. Fedde, it's an ugly thing with him, to be honest. Last season, he pitched 50 innings, had a 5.4 Sierra, 12% K rate only, 5.8% swinging strike rate. Righties against him, he had a 6.7 FIP against righties. In his first start, he pitched 1.2 innings, gave up 5 earned against Atlanta. His spring was also pretty terrible. I think we have enough of a track record of this guy right now to just ignore him and fade him if the price is right. Price isn't really right here, to be honest. I mean, John Gant, he pitched 4 innings against Miami. Swinging strikes weren't there. He walked 3. I think it's a bit concerning. Last year, he had a 11.5% walk rate. He got extremely lucky with no home. He survived last season without giving up a home run, obviously. He pitched one innings per game last season. He's now starting to get stretched out. Obviously, pitched 4 innings here. On one side, I don't want to back the Nationals until everyone is back, fully healthy. See the team for a few games, let them get back into the rhythm. I'm not backing Fedde. On the other end, Gant, I mean, still a huge question mark. My line is minus 120-ish here. I think there is really not value on either side. Cleveland at the White Sox, McKenzie at Rodon. I wrote in my write-ups this morning that this could be like a pros and Joes matchup. If you look at the matchup, McKenzie, I think he's a name that many know at this point. Last year, he was super solid, 33 innings. He had a 3.2 Sierra, 0.9 VIF, 33% K rate, only 28% hard hit rate. Overall, nice underlying metrics. He won the 5th starter spot. In the first outing, he pitched only 3 innings here. This will be, I think, his first start of the season. He might started a game last season. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I think White Sox in his first start on the road, that's a difficult ask, even with the injuries to the White Sox. This is still a top 5 offense, in my opinion. I don't think Tristan McKenzie will go deep in the game. On the other end, I'm liking Carlos Rodon. I was backing him in his first start. I got him on my fantasy team right now. I'm liking the spiked velocity. I'm liking that he finally seems healthy after all these years. Cleveland, I think this is not a good team. I'm not really a believer. Yes, they had a few breakout games. Underlying numbers are getting a bit better than they were at the start of the season, but I'm not liking them overall. White Sox bullpen has been performing terribly, but the underlying numbers are better than the surface numbers. So I'm liking the White Sox. I'm liking Rodon. I'm not liking Cleveland. I don't think this is the good spot for McKenzie. My line here is minus 133. This is a game I'm tracking. I might be interested if this comes down to like below minus 130 or something like that, but it's really just White Sox or bust for me. LA Angels at the Kansas City Royals. Cobb at Singer. Singer blew up in his first game. 5 earned runs allowed in 3 innings. He also walked 3 against Texas, out of all teams. Um, this is a more difficult matchup. I'm not backing guys coming from of bad first outing and facing more difficult matchups in the second outing. His velocity was up for Singer, 2 miles per hour on his fastball. That's something I wanted to mention. He might turn. I mean, yeah, it's early in the season. I kind of like the guy, so I'm hoping he will turn it around. I won't have a stock here on either side. Alex Cobb pitched against the White Sox in his first start, had 7 Ks in 6 innings, gave up 3 earned, 97 pitches, 33% called strikes plus whiffs. Overall, it looked pretty good. I'm still like waiting for him to just consistently deliver nice outings. We will see how that turns out. I think the game is priced fair. I'm making Cobb a slight favorite. Also, current line is -113 on Pinnacle. I make this -108, so pretty close to the current line. LA as a slight road favorite. Makes sense. Casey has been pretty decent, but I was high on them coming into the season, so it's really not a surprise. Detroit at Houston. Casey Mize at Zach Greinke. Greinke laying over -200 here. Mize in his first start only had 4 Ks and 5 whiffs in 4 innings, 18% called strikes plus whiffs. That's not really going to cut it. We all see the talent with this guy, but I mean, last season he couldn't put it together. 5+ ERA, 10% walk rate, 8+ FIP against lefties. This is not really a dice you want to roll against Houston, a team that's super solid. Greinke top 30, no questions about that. I'm liking Greinke. I think this is really a nice matchup, although they are a bit overpriced here. I think -210 to -215 is a better price here. Oakland at Arizona. Chris Bassett at Madison Bumgarner. This is a game where I kind of don't care about what my numbers say. I'm liking Oakland here. Chris Bassett pitched against the Dodgers and the Astros to open the season. He was hit hard in both games. 13 hits in 11 total innings. He gave up 7 earned. But this is a guy that is an okay pitcher. He had like a 4.4 Sierra last season, 1.1 whip, only 6.5% walk rate, 10% swinging strike rate. Super nice overall numbers against righties. I think he's not at the level that you should back him against LA or the Astros, but he should really solve this weak Arizona lineup. Oakland, on the other hand, finally won 2 games. Offense showing some life. As I said, I'm really low on them coming into the season, but I think that's kind of priced in here, and Bassett's struggles are also priced in here. Madison Bumgarner pitched 9 innings so far, gave up 15 hits, 9 earned runs, 6+ FIP. His velocity was up in his first start, down in the second start. Last year, I mean, this guy was pretty terrible. In 41 innings, 5+ Sierra, only a 15% K rate, 7.6% swinging strike rate, 44% hard contact rate, 8+ FIP against righties. Through his career, he had problems against righties. This is not the first time we see it. This is a super righty heavy matchup. Matt Bum is giving up tons of hard contact. While we know that this new ball isn't traveling as well as it should, and that's kind of hurting these fly ball teams like Oakland. I think this righty-heavy lineup coming off 2 wins will solve Bumgarner, as the first 2 teams he pitched against did also. I'm liking Bassett as well, slight road favorite. I don't have a problem laying the chalk here. Cincinnati at San Francisco. Wade Miley at Aaron Sanchez. Cincinnati road dogs here. I'm not sure why. I like the Reds overall. yes, the Giants are a strong team against lefties. Last season, they had a 127 WRC plus with a 221 ISO. They were one of the better offenses against lefties, but that doesn't mean that you are automatically betting them against the lefty. And it's a bit risky to back Wade Miley. He had one great outing against the Pirates in his first start, 6 innings, 6 Ks. 29% call strikes plus sweeps, only 2 hits and 1 walk. But this guy hasn't been really good for almost like 1.5 years. But overall, we always knew that the talent is there. He had like a really nice stretch, like for almost an entire season in 2019, and things just fell apart in the end of the season. And last season was a weird one, and he battled injuries also. But I think he's a talented guy. Reds are the better team overall. Their bullpen is very unlucky so far. They have like a 20% plus home run to fly ball ratio. The underlying metrics aren't as ugly. Aaron Sanchez, he pitched a great game against the Padres in his first game back since 2019 also, I guess, or maybe 2018. But his velocity was down like 2.5 miles on his fastball. Yes, he was missing some bats, etc. But overall, I don't really trust him. And yeah, I think the Reds are the better team, and Miley is the better pitcher, and they are plus money. That's kind of enough for me to get in bed with them. All right, summing it up, this has been a long podcast again. So I'm liking the Texas Rangers a bit. I think plus 200 is a bit too much. They are giving Glasnow a bit too much of a credit. Dunning is a nice arm. I think he will most likely hang with Glasnow. If you want to keep the bullpens out of this, I don't fault you. I like the Cubs plus 115 at Milwaukee. I think Brewers might be without two of their three best bats. Follow the injury news, but I think if you can get on it now, you should. These two pitchers are basically the same. Peralta is a bit he has more innings under his belt, more experienced, but I think Azalea has a similar or even higher upside. And the Cubs offense, I don't think is as bad as we've seen. Underlying metrics suggest some positive regression. I like Chris Bassett, Oakland at Arizona. I will fade Bumgarner until we get similar good prices. Oakland finally won 2 games. It's a righty-heavy team facing a lefty who is giving up tons of power. And I like Cincinnati. I think Miley shouldn't really be dog against the Giants and Aaron Sanchez. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. It has been a longer show. I will try to speed it up a bit again tomorrow, but we will have a shorter NBA card, so it will be more easy to do that. If you're not Emma Plays, you can go to patreon.com/thebarrelzone, and you can find me on Twitter @thebarrelzone if you have any feedback.